Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Thursday, the 17th of November, 2022. I'm Michael Thompson. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about, so let's jump into it. Story number 1, another quiet day's trading on the ASX, which rose slightly, with the S&P ASX 200 adding 0.2% to 7,136 points. In stocks in the news, Pendal Group soared 10.5%, while Perpetual fell 12.6% after a court judgment on their merger. More on that one in a sec. And Webjet added 10% after a trading update. Domino's Pizza rose 2.4%, Telstra added 1%, and Medibank lifted 1.8%. Among other notable movers, lower energy prices sent Whitehaven Coal down 6.3%, while New Hope Corporation fell 6.5%, South32 dropped 5.2%, and BlueScope Steel slid 2.4%. The subdued trading came as the odds of another few rate rises firmed today, with new figures from the Australian Bureau of Statistics showing unemployment falling to 3.4%, the equal lowest rate in almost 50 years. On to story number 2 now, and a bit of blockchain embarrassment at the Australian Stock Exchange. The ASX has been forced to cancel its high-profile blockchain settlement project that was supposed to replace the ageing CHESS system. It's a bit of a blow to the credibility of the ASX, which has been forced to write off the $250 million project, dubbed a Frankenstein's monster by critics for its complexity, cost overruns and delays. Blockchain technology underpins Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and ASX has been working on a project to use it for the share market for 7 years. Story number 3, as I mentioned earlier, the Perpetual Pendal merger will go to shareholders after the New South Wales Supreme Court ruled that Perpetual cannot walk away on fiduciary duty grounds. If it abandons the merger, Perpetual would be liable not only for a $23 million break fee, but also potentially for further damages, says the court. Perpetual and Pendal were in court seeking guidance on whether the merger vote by shareholders should go ahead after a separate bid from Regal for Perpetual that was conditional on the Perpetual Pendal merger being canned. Separately today, Perpetual and Pendal have slightly recut their merger terms to reduce the cash consideration and lift the amount of shares changing hands. Story number 4, more than 500,000 Australians could experience long COVID according to new modelling, and of those, 110,000 would suffer significant impacts, preventing them from engaging in normal activities like working. The modelling from the University of Tasmania and Deakin University looked at how many people are expected to have symptoms in December, including extreme fatigue. We are in the middle of another wave of COVID cases at the moment, with renewed calls for masks to return. In New South Wales, at least, health officials are advising that masks be worn on public transport and indoor public spaces where physical distancing isn't possible. Finally, on to story number 5. The Republicans have taken the US House of Representatives after victory in California in the midterm elections, signalling a return to divided government in Washington. Republican control of the House of Representatives will force President Joe Biden to negotiate to implement his policy agenda. Control of the House does not give the Republicans the ability to pass new legislation without Democrat support because they do not have control of the Senate after a worse than expected showing in the midterms. Wall Street ended lower overnight after stronger than expected retail sales data added to the weight of evidence in favour of the Federal Reserve's aggressive path on interest rates. The Dow Jones finished just a touch lower, about 0.1% lower. The S&P 500 dipped 0.8%, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq fell 1.5%. That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 17th of November, 2022. Adam Lang and I will be back tomorrow morning for the Friday edition of Fear and Greed. I'm Michael Thompson. Enjoy your evening.